I'm Jeff Schwartz. This is our November 2020 shop update. We've been working hard to get all the chassis orders out the door. We're just about wrapped up on this Tri-5 chassis. And we're just about wrapped up with this Mopar B-body chassis. I could go on and on about the cool features of this 47 Hudson, from the door handles that are kind of hidden into the trim here, as well as the windshield wiper pedestals and the windshield molding that comes down off the top, and the fact the hood flips up backwards, and the engine is far back in the firewall. So lots of cool things on this old 47 Hudson, and I'm really happy we were able to build this one. Everybody knows I love Trans Ams, and I really do dig this one, 75 with the Whipple charger. We're putting all the final details on the assembly before it gets the interior upholstery done. We're working feverishly on this 48 Woody, putting it back together. The upholstery for the seats is being done simultaneously to us putting all the mechanical stuff back together. Should be a fun ride up the mountain roads of California with the 6-speed Tremec and the supercharged Coyote. You haven't seen this 69 Mustang Coupe in a while. Well, it's now painted and we're in the final assembly stages. There's a really cool story about this car. This is another new arrival here, a 1972 Mustang. It's getting the full treatment with the Schwartz G-Machine chassis, of course, and a new drivetrain. After looking at the front end of this Hellcat-powered Monte Carlo, I noticed that there's not really a lot of airflow area to the radiator and the intercooler heat exchanger. So we're going to basically cut a vent in here to mimic the grill opening and fabricate an egg crate grill like this one for this area. So it'll give us about 50% more airflow through the front end, and we're going to definitely need that with the amount of horsepower this baby's going to be putting out. And here's another Trans Am project powered by an LT4 engine. We're fabricating cooling pipes on this, as well as a few other things. And here we've got an LT4 powered Mustang. I know Ford guys, it should have a Coyote in it or something, but the Chevy engine, you can't beat it for the price and the horsepower level and the compactness of it. So LT4 in here, and we are mocking up components to make sure they all fit. You never know on some of these old cars when things have been repaired. Holes may line up and things like that. So we're test fitting some grill pieces and laying out all the electrical components, mainly the components for the engine, fuse box, ECU, that sort of thing. And the build is progressing well on this. So we've finished fabricating the second wide body fender for this 54 Studebaker project. Yes, it will be getting the gas cap filler in this area here. And now we're moving on to doing the front bumper fitment. And then we'll be doing the final pieces of fabrication in the front fenders that are also going to be bulged out. Maybe not the 4.5 inches that these rears are, but nonetheless to cover the wide front tires we've got there. So another weird thing about these Studebakers from a stock perspective was these rear taillights were actually cockeyed and not square to the back of the car. So when we fabricated the new fender, we changed the angle of the taillights so that taillights are perpendicular to the rear of the car. So essentially a straight edge lays right across the faces of these. So it's nice and square to the back rather than being canted. So that's another detail that we did, and we incorporated that into the process of making the rear fenders. We were able to get these taillights lined up straight to the back. We've gotten a bunch of stuff knocked out on this 68 Coronet project. The outer wheel houses have been replaced that were rusty, the entire trunk floor, and both quarter panels. So next on the agenda is mini tubbing, and we'll also be putting a roll bar in this one. The interior on this 56 Chevy is done, and we're just waiting for a couple of components to come back from powder coating, and then we'll be driving it around and getting everything dialed in. This 68 Camaro is a prime example of trying to get aftermarket parts to fit properly. So we've got a combination of some aftermarket heads and headers, and the headers didn't allow access to spark plug wires. So we were able to find another set of headers that cleared the spark plug, but they wouldn't clear the steering. So the lesser of two evils was to get the headers that cleared the spark plugs and then modify two of the tubes to clear the steering. That's really a mouthful, I know, but bottom line is everything fits perfectly now. I'm extremely disappointed that I wasn't able to participate in the Optima Ultimate Streetcar Invitational that was held at Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas a few weeks ago. I was invited to participate in this car. Unfortunately, I had broken the transmission a few months before, and the 370Z transmission that we ordered from Japan was delayed in shipment due to COVID. So we now have the transmission and are waiting a clutch disc that was back ordered. So this will be on the road soon, and hopefully it'll be out on the track next year. So you may have noticed that Dale has been missing from the videos recently, and I'm sorry to inform you that Dale has decided to leave the company and move to South Carolina, where his wife is from. So he is now working for Hawk's 3rd Gen in Easley, South Carolina, and that's where he's residing. And we miss him very much, but we wish him the best of luck in his new adventure. And that's all we have for this month. Follow us on Instagram and like us on Facebook, and we'll be back next month with lots of cool stuff.